Do you play trading card games? Of course you do. That's why you're listening to / watching this thing. If you want to save money on your trading card purchases, we have a promo link over at 50cards.shop. Enter the promo code ATNIGHT to get 5% off your order. Hey everybody, welcome to Nexus and Not Your Weekly Vanguard podcast. I'm Atlas.
I'm Matt.
I'm Root Beer.
And
I'm sorry.
It's okay. So SheDevilGaming is with us this week. Nice to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. So today we're doing the set review for Clan Selection Volume 5, which has a bunch of reprints and 3 new cards for half of the clans in the game.
Yeah. We learned our lesson from the last time we tried to do a clan collection in one video. It did not work out.
Yeah, so splitting this into 2, doing 5 this week, 6 next week. If your clan isn't in this set, now you know why. So to those who haven't done this with us before, we go through each clan, reading the card off and giving our piece about it and moving on. So why don't we start with the first card, Ashley.
All right, Broken Heart Jewel Knight Ashley Reverse. So, as an act, Soul Blast 2, lock a rear guard. Retire one of your opponent's front row, look at top 4, choose up to 1 card with Jewel Knight, call it, and then put the rest at the bottom of the deck. And then on attack, if you have 2 or more locked cards, Counterblast 1, search your deck for up to 2 grade 2 or lower Jewel Knights, call them to rear, shuffle. And then for each lock card, it gets plus 10k until end of turn. If you have 3 or more lock cards, your opponent can't call Sentinels.
Does she have a lightsaber?
I mean, it's like Link Joker stuff, right? So
Right, yeah.
all like techno laser sword, or it could just be the lighting.
Pachoo. Just swinging around a lightsaber. What do we think?
So you're supposed to break ride this on top of the old Ashley and give it a crit, so it's so that it's like 43 with a crit and Sentinel restrict, and then you get 2 more attacks on top of it. I think that's fine.
For Soul Blast 6.
For Soul Blast 6. Although every Jewel Knight card Soul charges for no reason.
Oh, do they? Okay.
I don't think that's a no reason if you have to Soul Blast 6.
Yeah,
turns out there's a reason.
A lot of the Jewel Knights do Soul Charge. I noticed that when I was testing things for the last premium collection.
Gotcha.
Did you have anything you wanted to say?
I really liked Ashley when she was revealed. She has a interesting interaction with Crystal Luster. When Crystal Luster gets to GB3, it guard restricts with 3 or more, and she actually guard restricts with the Sentinel. So it doesn't guarantee a kill, but if your opponent doesn't know what they're doing, it guarantees a kill.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it turns out Triple Door is just strong.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Ashley is fine.
Mm-hmm. What about the next one?
Let's see. We have Banding Jewel Knight Miranda. So that's grade 2. When it attacks while it's not boosted, if you have a Jewel Knight Vanguard, choose one of your Vanguards, and until end of battle, increase or decrease this unit's power to match your Vanguard. And then when another unit is placed on top of it, Soul Charge 1, and if you have no face-up damage, Counter Charge 1.
Why do they get? I don't get what it is about V era Royal Paladin where they're like, all right, you're going to want to use up as much of your counterblast as possible.
Man, it doesn't even counterblast that much. I'm pretty sure everything is soul blasting, because original Ashley soul blast, and if you're playing the reverse deck, you're going to play the original one.
Oh, I more mean Sisyphus, where it's no face-up cards in damage zone gets the 5k. All the alt mile stuff was about having no face-up cards in damage zone. This randomly has it as part of it too, for some reason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know that Jewel Knights go through Counterblast quite as quickly, although the Soul Charge is important.
Kind of feel like they're just trying to control countercharging as much as possible, making it very limited for you to get to. Because if they give it to, like, they do have old cards that, like, Soul Blast 2, Counter Charge 2, they tend to try to get rid of those cards or try not to reprint those cards because, I mean, flipping 2 cards is really good.
Yeah.
That's the thing, though. They still exist, those old cards.
Well, but not in V, right? Which is this is aim for.
Yeah.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just tend to look at everything through a premium lens because that's the
Same.
fun one for me.
All right, but V is the only format with no overtrigger.
Yeah, and it's not like they're getting banned.
I know. I saw we're getting the overtriggers reprinted. I was like,
At least they're not making new ones like I thought.
Okay, but still, like I'm not happy about it. That's all I'm going to say.
We don't know that for sure because it is changing to wheel dress because we could get a wheel.
No, I think they announced this morning that they're reprinting Overtriggers in set 6.
Okay, so that's
the same ones.
Yeah, it's the same ones.
Dang, that means they're not being removed from the game. Unfortunately.
Yeah, and then they're printing new Sentinels, but they have the same effect as the old one, I think is what it said.
Oh yeah, it does say reprints.
Well, that's no biggie.
And then back to the set. The last one is Security Jewel Knight Alwayn, so that's the grade 1. So it has an act, rest this unit, put a normal unit from drop to bottom of deck, soul charge, and one of your Vanguard Jewel Knights gets 5k. When your other unit is placed on this unit circle, look at the top 2 cards, choose up to 1 with Jewel Knight, reveal it, put it in your hand, put the rest bottom of the deck. So I think this card is good. It's like recycling, and then because this is intended to work with the reverse deck, you just rest it and then lock it.
Right. So all these are kind of made to work together.
Yeah. I mean, that is kind of... I mean, that's not how it always works with these Clan Collections cards, but sometimes...
Oh, no, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, some of these are just completely, like, separate from each other, and they're just like, did you just grab this out of your ass randomly?
Oh, we'll get to a card that's just pulled out of nowhere.
We'll be very happy to talk about this when we get there.
To talk about her real quick, I don't think even if you do go into reverse, I don't even think you're going to run. Just looking at top 2 doesn't seem like enough. But in V, never mind.
The rest skill to like soul charge and get power is probably the more important one.
Yeah, I forgot V. I keep forgetting about V. Never mind.
Yeah. But yeah, for premium, I don't know that this would probably be run. Probably... I'm trying to think of like the list I had for like premium testing. I think there were like a couple spaces where I just did not have anything else to put in the deck, so like this is fine.
Just buy Sword Mace.
I mean, that list had Sword Mace in it. That's the only reason I don't currently play Jewel Knights is because I need Sword Mace.
Oh my god, everybody's poor wallet.
I know.
They're never gonna reprint it unless they just make a V version of Sword Me.
Oh no, then they will never reprint the original one, right?
Yeah, and the V version is probably worse, like Tidal Assault.
Oh yeah, probably be like, all right, on play, Counterblast, Soul Blast. If you have no cards in damage zone face up, call it Jewel or something.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
but I do like I'm not sure that Ashley Reverse really enhances the deck that much. It's like a different finisher option where your because Solemn already restands. Although I have found Solemn's restand to be pretty awkward, but that's when I was testing it in premium, so maybe V is a bit easier.
Yeah, it's just slow enough to warrant the win.
Yeah, because Solemn, I don't think. I mean, technically, neither of these you have to wait. Like, Ashley Reverse is better if you were to break ride it on top of one of the other ones. I'm just going to keep calling it break riding because that's more or less what it is.
I mean, considering that a bunch of skills in this set are, like, if you have 4 or more damage without, like, specifically saying break 4, we're there. We're back. It's fine.
Yep. I mean, the whole, like, calling on top of them and getting effects was obviously meant to evoke break riding, so now we're just there.
Although I do like that for Jewel Knights especially, like, you were just kind of expected to call over your guys and then that was it. And they're like, all right, hope you win. Now there's like recycling and bonuses when you do call over stuff. It's nice. To have that.
And the reprints for the set are all of the V Collection 1 Jewel Knights because those cards are randomly really expensive for no reason.
Along with Heal Guardians.
Yeah.
Also good. I am always a proponent of reprints. Even if they're a little stupid, reprints are always good.
Yeah. But at least in this case, the reprints are like actually kind of relevant because the old Grade 2 from Set 1 is $10, and then the Grade 1 is also $10. Ashley is getting there. There are still some listings that are reasonable at $5, but I think for a little while she was also $10 along with the other two.
Very
Kianna,
cool.
You do like a market watch thing on your channel, right?
Correct. I do market watch twice a week, and I didn't see Ashley that high. She usually was lower than everybody
Yeah, she
else.
was lower than the other two, but
The other two was kind of ridiculous. The Grade 2, the highest I seen it get was $20,
yeah.
and the highest the Grade 1 got was actually $15.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And when they announced the reprints, they both just dropped. It just seemed like everybody got scared and just literally threw all their they just lit
Like, that's what stopped me from playing it last V Collection was just that suddenly the Grade 1 and 2 were 3 times as expensive as they were initially.
Yeah, no one was really paying attention to Ashley. No one really cared to have her or not. It was mainly because the Grade 1 and 2 were splashed in so many different decks to the point that it made them expensive.
Yeah. Although, I think, like, recently in Springfest, Jewel Knights were doing okay, weren't they?
I saw 1 or 2 lists, one in Premium and a few in V Premium, but I didn't see a lot.
Yeah, I don't think they're, like, the best deck ever, but they're, like, just good enough to be 3rd slot in a team tournament.
I feel like it's one of those decks, if you have not practiced against it, it can't slap the hell out of you.
Yeah.
It's like the Gauntlet Buster problem. Sometimes you just lose.
Speaking of cards that sometimes you just lose against,
Uh-oh.
Heretic Battle Sister Fromage Reverse.
Oh,
Great art on this one. Love the art.
I do like the art.
Does she have a gun?
Yeah, it's a gun.
Hell yeah.
It's a
Yeah,
gun sword.
Yeah,
Sword gun.
it's very
but-
anime of them. Yeah.
I mean, the original one also had a sword gun.
Mm-hmm.
So,
oh,
Yeah.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Fromage is continuous. All your units with Battle Sister and their card during your turn, they all get 5k for each of your locked cards. And then she has an act, town last one, discard from hand. Look at the same number of cards as from your top deck as the number of units with Battle Sister and your different card name. Choose any number of cards from among them, put them top deck, put the rest at bottom in any order. Then you can lock one or more Battle Sister rear guards with different names and draw a card for each one. I've come around to this card.
In what, the 30 seconds it took for you to read it between what you said before?
No, like, when I first looked at this card, I thought it was, like, terrible and worse than the original Fromage, but I've, like, come around to it since then.
Explain.
So, the thing is, the original Fromage is really slow, so in order for that one to gain power, both players have to be at Grade 3, and then it only gives the 5k, so it doesn't scale past that. With Fromage Reverse, you can probably lock 2 cards, and then generally come out ahead on one of your columns, and the other one should still be, like, good enough, because they just keep giving a bunch of Battle Sisters that gain power. And then locking rear guards to draw is a little annoying because the original Fromage just straight +2 is just a straight +2, but I think you can go even on it, and then you can still play the original Fromage, which just draws a bunch of cards for you. And then the other big thing is that one of the Battle Sister Grade 2's, Trifle, has a Sentinel Restrict, so since V Premium doesn't have G guards, what you could do is you just lock 3, so behind Vanguard and your other column, and stack 15k onto both units in the other column, because it's all units with Battle Sister, so you're at +30 on the column. Then Trifle with her own skill gains another 5, so with minimal setup, you're already at plus 35 with the Sentinel Restrict. And then it's OTT, so the entire thing is just putting triggers on top of your deck. So if you put 2 crits, that's plus 50 with a Guard Restrict. And that's not counting like other power gains, so if your grade 1 gains power, it gets even bigger. And then there's also a grade 1 Battle Sister that you can put into Soul and increase the next trigger gain by 10k. So I think when I did the math, if you have the maximum setup, you can get to like 90k Sentinel Restrict with crits. And then even a half-ass setup gets to like 50, 60.
Sold me.
Yeah. So this, I don't think it makes OTT like good. I think it puts it into that like Overlord Gabriel tier where sometimes your opponent just smacks you with a bunch of crits and you can't do anything about it. The biggest problem is Trifle has to Soul Blast a grade 3.
The casino strategy.
Yeah. But yeah, I've come around to it. Fromage Reverse is like Overlord tier.
Well, my opinion of it, because me and my friends have discussed the card, and it still has the same issue that clans that only have 3 swings have. Is it only has 3 swings, and her ability to lock the back, she should have been able to restand. Because if you think about it like this, she can't, though the back row can't boost anymore, so the front is just going to be kind of the same if it was being boosted, if you think about it.
No, it's actually going to be worse than if it was boosted. That's why you probably only lock like 2.
That's true, but the thing is, she doesn't restand herself, or she doesn't restand the reguards. So the OTC is still in the same situation that they cannot restand or do anything other than the 3 attacks. And then they also have to deal with other decks that are multi-attacking on them. So they still are in this little box, which everybody else is doing something else. Because Angel Feather, yes, they do manipulate the damage. They do play around with different things. But with Hamiel, like creating like great on grade 1 and 2 and getting up further, because there is a way for Angels to push a card into the damage zone early, and then you can activate the pink one, I can't think of her name right now, to pick it up and then damage check, and then you'll have a crit on your Vanguard super early. I don't advise to do that, but you can do it. But even with Premium, they still don't have multi-attack. Angel Feather still have multi-attack with Harut. Yes, she has to be boosted, but she can still call Hamiel from the damage zone, and she can still play around with that. But
I think Battle Sister is like unplayable in Premium.
Okay, I'm not disagreeing there either. So that's just my opinion about it. I just feel like they should got a restand instead of them giving them a half-ass one, like they constantly do. Like the one that's the grade 2. Like you have to have 6 different Maguses on the field in order to restand, and she's just a grade 2. And I was like, what is this? But only reason I know all this is because my friend is an OTT player, and I have heard him cry about this so long.
It's this weird thing where, like, Bushiroad almost doesn't want to make everything so, like, homogenous in terms of what the aesthetics of winning look like. Like,
I don't think that's true. I think they just think that stacking triggers is good enough.
Like,
that's fine too.
Honestly, my idea for this card is locking 3 rear guards, looking at top whatever, and then like double critting on like 24x24 or 24, 27, 24. And I'm like, this is not even good.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
That's kind of what I look at.
Like V Premium, the only way to win is to like stack all your power on exactly one column and hope your opponent can't assemble like 80, 90k worth of shield.
Or hope they just can't take it.
Which in V is easier to do than in Premium, where they can just go, all right, I'll guard with Nedra Nora, call a PG from drop.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, no, I think like everything I described is only doable in V. I think trying to play Battle Sister in Premium is major copium.
True that. All right, we're only 2 clans in, and we got 12 of these things. So let's keep it moving. What's next?
My bad.
It's not your fault.
That would be you because it's a Genesis card. Oh wait, we have the other 2 Battle Sisters.
The other 2 Battle Sisters, good sir. Yeah.
So we have Battle Sister Mocha. When it's rode upon, Soul Blast 1, look at top 2, put 1 on top, or put 1 in your hand, put rest top or bottom. If you have 3 or more units with Battle Sister and different card names, it gets power and shield +5, and then if your hand has 4 or more, it gets +5. It's a 10k beater.
Seems fine.
Yeah, it's fine. If you stack enough triggers, your columns get decently big.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Battle Sister Coco, so it's a grade 1. When you ride on top of it, you can call it to rear. Act, you can rest it, look at top card, put it top or bottom. If you put it on bottom, give something 3k. This is just to like dig for stuff, I guess.
Did they just give you guys a ride line without actually having the mechanics of ride line?
They have been doing this since the middle of the Atlas.
I know. I don't know. I just don't want to believe it. All right. So the next thing is for Genesis. So we have Beloved Regalia. Frig. So grade 3. Act on Van once per turn. You can counterblast 1. Look at 5 cards from the top of your deck. Call one of them. If you called a unit with Regalia, choose 2 of your rear guards, and then put a Divine Gauge on them from your soul. And then at the beginning of your turn, if your opponent has 4 or less cards in their damage zone, you discard 5 Divine Gauge and damage ping your opponent.
Wow, it's Gigarex.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Also, all of your Divine Gauge units can't leave the rear guard circle by card effect and get power plus 5,000.
That too. So this really makes me sad as a Tachikaze player, because I was like, all right, I'm playing Gaia Devastate just to kill the goddamn Norn on rear guard so they can't use it to restand. But nope.
Oh yeah, they did word it to get around that, huh?
Yep.
Yeah. Can't leave. Sorry, folks.
Who says that? Like, it's so bizarre. It's the first instance of this, right?
Can't leave the field. Not even like can't be retired, can't be bound, whatever.
So yeah, you can't return it to hand, you can't retire it. I think you can still lock it.
I guess
yeah, probably.
So. Yeah, because it's not moving.
Locking is not leaving, it becomes like a locked card, so...
It becomes nothing.
Yeah.
I assume it's like resting, right? Where like that's still on the circle, just does the thing to it. My friend Chris, or our friend Chris, has said that he likes this better than Angelica, not because of the name, but because you can, being able to damage ping them puts more pressure on it than using the like discard gauge to heal.
Yeah.
And then it's also just better early, as opposed to Angelica.
Mm-hmm.
So straight power creeps Angelica. Then you have Regalia of Vow Rorigiza. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Grade 2, when placed on Van, counterblast 1, look at 5 cards from the top of your deck, call something. If you call the Regalia, choose one of your rear guards, put a gauge on it, and then if it's placed on rear, choose up to 2 Regalias from your drop and put them into your soul. Pretty.
She is the embodiment of the promo, but she's a 10k base.
Pretty good.
The embodiment of the promo? What do you mean?
There is a promo that says when it's placed, you can choose 3, I believe it's 3, from your drop and put them into your soul. And,
I forgot about that thing.
And it was a very expensive promo. And since she came out, people aren't really paying attention to it. I think people are going to still buy it because just in case you don't get to this card, it's an extra one. Mm-hmm. But it's just to get... I don't know why they did that. I don't know why they won't give Fenrir support, but they just wanted to make Regalia just ridiculous. Because it just makes them ridiculous. Because now they can restand 3 times successfully.
Mm-hmm.
And,
yeah.
No,
sorry, go ahead.
No, it's just... That card kind of made me cry a little bit because I was like, I play Pale Moon, so I like playing Harry to mess with their board. Now I can't unless they have to strive for me to play with their board. But when I was on my turn, I like to use my doll to push it in the soul, and I can't touch it. I can't touch nothing.
Yeah, it's kind of infuriating that you can't do anything. They're gonna restand 3 times on you whether you like it or not. Right. The only real upside is that they take a little bit to get going. So if you have like a really strong early game, you can put them in a corner quickly and then hope to close it out.
This new 2 actually calls one from the deck, so it's giving early aggression. So that means you still have to ride her to get the early aggression, which that's good that she's only a V ride in order to get the top of the deck. But
oh god, can you imagine?
VR, call another one. Oh god, yeah, like Genesis or Regalia specifically has been this tournament season. Not the like 2 things to beat. It's not Order Colony or Nightmare Dolls, but it's up there.
Yeah,
it's floating around. It
like shows up in top cuts.
Yeah,
is that for like premium or for V?
Premium.
Premium.
Okay, premium.
Because
V is just all like Go-Gurt.
Yeah, most people will go if you're playing a Genesis player. Most Genesis players either been doing Valkyrian because it just if you put triggers on Valkyrian, then it's just you don't even have to. You put a crit and put the power somewhere else. You just kill them. Valkyrian is still a force to be reckoned with in V Premium.
Yeah, hitting for like what 63k and then 70k. Yeah, they're dead. All right, and then the last one is Ordain Owl, which is an old card that was kind of whatever. This one is once again when wrote upon, you can call it to rare, and then at the end of the battle that it boosted a Regalia, put it into your soul, draw 1. Pretty straightforward.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't have any. It's fine. Let's just...
I have nothing to say.
All right. Your turn.
Okay. I forgot the skill of this one. Could you read the skill for me?
Oh.
Yeah, so at the beginning of your battle phase, if you so this is the rebirth.
Yes.
So at the beginning of your battle phase, you have 1 or more rear guards lock all of your rear guards. At the end of turn and at the end of the next battle, this unit attacked, counterblast 1, or until end of turn, at the end of battle, this unit attacked, counterblast 1, discard a card from your hand and stand this unit. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, Soul Blast 1, choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it for every 2 of your locked cards. And once per turn, at the end of the battle that this unit attacked, if you have 5 or more locked cards and your damage zone has 4 or more cards, discard 2, stand this unit, and get an imaginary gift force.
That's going to be a very cute binder card.
Yeah.
I agree.
What? Just the thing that like, oh, it's shiny. It's in there.
It doesn't beat the X. The X is too good. You
the
can't
already just restands twice.
Yeah, this card is exactly as she said, a binder card.
They would have to because the X can use the PGs from D with no problem because their hand is always 0. It restands. The only problem is it has the Soul Blast and it will constantly get the new the one that they like to go into. What's the name of it?
Which one? Doge,
it's so many of them. Overlord the End. That's the one I love to go in because he's the best one. So why even play him? So he's gonna be if somebody pull him, he's gonna be nicer than a binder. Somebody was like, "Oh, look what I pulled." But I don't see it doing anything. I don't feel like people are even going to gravitate unless they're just wanting to collect an Overlord. Other than that, that's my opinion.
Yeah, I think this is just kind of like a more situational the cross, so there's no reason to play it.
Yep. Also, like you can still attack with your rear guards with the cross.
True. Does it discard less cards overall? I'm curious.
Let's see. You lock 5. Let's see. You discard 3. How much do you have to discard for the cross? I guess I have to go look up the end.
When like okay, so when the first Rebirth came out, I remember people justifying playing it because, Link Joker's a problem. This is your response to it. You can lock the rest of your rear guards and, at least get a restand off on him. And, I've been hearing the same logic out of this one, but Link Joker is not a problem.
Playing Link Joker.
Thank you! Yes!
That?
Yeah, so it's just you're creating a problem for yourself.
But what if I do play against Link Joker, Alice?
Okay, so both of them will discard 3 overall. How many cards?
But one needs LB4. Got it.
Yeah. And then the Overlord, and then Cross cannot have 0 drive, so you'll always get 1 drive check for each attack. Let's see. This one I don't think loses any drives, so I think this one does go +1 overall compared to the Cross.
You did it.
We found one good thing about him.
I don't know if we're going to be able to find a good thing about the next thing.
Let's go for it.
This freaking guy.
Is that a left?
It's a left.
I remember the buyout for the commons.
Seriously? There was a buyout for that? Oh my god.
So
it stopped. It kind of slowed down because it's just out of nowhere. Somebody was like, I can literally ride up in Kagero. And I was like, but you need so many pieces though.
Yeah.
Nothing like a 5-card combo or whatever it is.
Just to ride up.
Yeah.
Bermuda needs 1 and it's banned. You just need a counterblast and you roll it up. There's so many things that can ride up, but just need 1 card, and they did this. They
printed one in this. And wait, they printed another card that can ride up in this series of clan collections. We can get to that one next week.
Yeah.
So this card, it can ride. It can superior ride from hand if you're on the grade 2 or itself by still charging bar or and a trigger.
Yeah.
Which is already annoying. And so when you rear guard with embodiment in its card name attacks, you can increase or decrease that unit's power to match this unit. And then you can counterblast 3. That is right, counterblast 3.
We're
get
back
power
to this.
plus 15,000, critical +1, drive +1, and then you can soul blast each of bar and tar, the grade 1 and trigger, to countercharge 3.
The original Aleph had a just act ability. If you soul blasted all the things you used to ride up with, it turned all of your damage face up. This is objectively worse by that token.
Yeah. At least this one gains a bunch of power. What does the original one even do?
Gain 3,000 and a crit for CB4.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I would say that this one is still better. But
who is this for?
Counterblast 4.
Nostalgia. We know what it's for. It's
for the
but nobody had nostalgia for this.
Please don't ask for this ever again.
But you can ride this on top of Dauntless and have 25k restand with a
if you have the pieces.
Drive.
If somebody didn't rush you to hell.
Yeah. Anyways, I said the 1 combo you can do with this card, so
I'm so sorry for whoever got the case split for Kagero for this set. So much junk.
What do these grade 3s have to do with each other?
All right. Absolutely nothing.
So the last one is Dragon Monk Goku. Oh, what a classic.
He looks like an extra in Entourage. He's got a sideways visor.
No, you didn't. Can somebody please read his skill?
Sure. So an act on Van, you can counterblast 1, discard a grade 3 card from your hand, and it gets drive +1 until end of turn. And then it has an auto at the end of the battle that this unit attacked. You can counterblast 1 and perform all of the following according to the grades of the normal units revealed for the drive check of that battle. Grade 3, you can choose 2 of your opponent's rear guards and retire them. A grade 2, choose 1 of your rear guards and stand it. Grade 1, choose 1 of your rear guards and gets power plus 10,000 until end of turn.
So it's saying if I get a crit, I don't do anything, but if I don't get a crit, I'm gonna do something to. That's so odd.
This is really bizarre. So you would kind of have to attack with one column, attack with this, attack with the other column, because otherwise it just doesn't work. And you could just still get two grade
Absolutely
2s, and are
nothing.
just like, please.
I this
And this
this
isn't
seems
a
like D
plan
support.
that like can't stack the deck.
This is a card that they definitely printed.
It's one of those things where like the idea of if you're the majority of your skill is predicated off drive checks, like what you get for drive check, you got a problem.
I mean, that was the original Goku too, but
Oh,
it
yeah.
only retired things.
But that was in a much slower time, and
I mean,
even then,
it was in the TD. So yeah.
yeah.
Atlas, I love your statement right there because later on I have a card that I'm going to discuss with you about what you
Ooh.
just said.
Yeah. I think I know what you're talking about. All right. Well, Kumo's up next. Who had Kumo?
I got you.
All right. Kick it.
All right. So this is, what's her name? Ryogi?
Yeah.
So act counter +1. Look at top 5 from the top of your deck. Choose up to one card with Stealth Fiend in its card name from among them and call it to rearguard circle and shuffle your deck. If your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, choose up to 2 cards instead of 1. Auto on Van, when this rearguard is placed by this unit's ability, that unit gets this unit's card name until end of turn. And when this unit attack does not hit, Soul Blast 2, choose the same number of cards with Stealth Fiend in those card names from your drop as a number of additional rearguard circles and call them to additional rearguard circles.
That seems pretty good.
Yeah. This card says a lot of things, but I don't know enough about Murakumo to make a decision.
My opinion, she's really good in the right Murakumo player's hands. I don't feel like she's like set and ready. When I say that, I mean like Melody. Melody is set and ready to me. Like you literally can just give it to anybody and like count. That's all you got to tell them. Count. And just swing, and there you go. She just seemed like it takes a little bit more skill to play, but I feel like she's really good in the right hands.
Yeah. I guess it also depends on like how good Stealth Fiend cards are.
They got a promo, which actually they got a promo that actually calls early. She looks at the top 7, I believe. She's a grade 1. They got the wolf that becomes a Stealth Fiend, and he pushes one back, and he gets an extra drive for different names. And the other one is pure aggression because it just literally takes away your drive checks, but it's still called more to the field. It's literally, it's like a reverse without being a reverse. It's just, it seemed like a finisher card. It doesn't feel like you would ever just ride it for any reason. But she feels like the first version of Stealth should have been her and vice versa. But I digress.
I think probably if you can get a second Excel circle with this card, I think the effect is pretty annoying now.
Yeah.
Like with one Excel circle, it's probably like kind of a wash, or whether you guard her or not. But I think if you have 2 Excel circles, I think it's becomes kind of an issue.
Yeah, it becomes an issue.
What's the next one? I love the art on this one. It's very cool.
With the grade 2.
Yeah.
It took me a second to like figure out where its face was.
I know your eye is kind of drawn to where the tail is, and then like the face is just kind of.
I was looking at like the pendant around its neck, and then I was like, oh wait, its head is above that.
Yeah.
So when it's placed on R by your card's ability, it's power plus 5,000. And when an attack does not hit, if your Vanguard is Ryogi, the card we just read, then you can put it into your soul, choose all of your regards with the same name as your Vanguard, and they get power plus 5,000 until end of turn.
That's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
That is pretty good.
Seems like it would be quite annoying.
I don't like that it's not generic, but it's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're pretty likely to just throw I guess the idea is they want you to throw this on an additional rearguard circle and just bash with it.
So it's hitting force and then gets out of the way, and then you can buff everything else up. And it's nice. Mm-hmm. And then the last one, also the art just makes me laugh because it just reminds me of this emoji. Like, please,
he's having a hard time.
Yeah, he's having a hard time.
All right, Taizan. So when it's placed by your card's ability, it gets power plus 5,000. Yada yada. When its attack does not hit, if your Vanguard is Ryogi, you can put it into your soul. Look at top 7. Choose up to 1 grade 3 card, reveal it, and put it into your hand. I don't know what.
Fine.
Well, this one, it's any unit doesn't hit, unlike the grade 2, so...
Oh,
Yeah.
my apologies.
Oh, much better. Okay, never mind. Sorry. My bad.
Yeah, at least that's what it says on the wiki, is when
Nope,
your unit's
you're
attack does not hit.
I cannot read. I was just autopiloting.
Definitely done that.
Alright, so that is, like, better, because if your opponent guards at any point during the turn, you can just rip a grade 3 from out of your deck.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I do-
deck thinning, like, re-ride fodder, stride fodder if you're playing premium.
Or G-Guard fodder.
Oh yeah,
Also,
that's right, because
is premium. Yeah.
Heal Guardians.
As a Great Nature player, I definitely know that awesome feeling of, all right, I searched 2 grade 3s. I'm ready for next turn. Heals undamaged, be damned. What's next? Narukami?
Yes, it is Narukami. Oh boy, I get to have fun with these.
Yep.
So, Eradicator, Vowing Saber Dragon Reverse. So, it's a grade 3, act, counterblast 1, lock a rear guard. Your opponent chooses a card each from hand, rear guard, and drop, and binds them. And then, when your opponent's normal unit is bound other than from their deck, your opponent searches their deck for up to 1 card with the same name as the bound card and binds it and shuffles their deck. And you give one of your units 5k. If your opponent did not bind a guard, it gets 10k instead. And then when it attacks, if you have 1 or more cards in soul or rear guards with Vowing in their card name, Counterblast, Soul Blast, choose one of your rear guards, stand it, and then if you're at Limit Break, stand all of your rear guards.
Isn't that
I
just
love this card.
better
This card-
than the...
I mean, the original was a break ride, so yes.
Yeah.
But this card just kind of does everything.
Mm-hmm.
So you get to just rip 3 cards from your opponent, and then they can either mill themselves or give you more power. I think you actually prefer just getting the 10k instead of your opponent binding from deck.
I played against my friends Narukami last week, and the general consensus from my end is just let them have the 10k. It's not worth it.
I mean, I feel like this is a case where like the extra power actually does matter, because like they're standing rear guards. They already have their own standing rear guards with like Shoho and things like that. So you're either milling yourself out or like letting your opponent hit you much harder.
Mm-hmm. I don't
So
know.
I think
It's that,
like either way, you're in a bad position. I might actually just mill my own deck,
it's that
depending on
same.
the situation.
It's that philosophy that I had when I was playing Matt back when he played Dimension Police, which is, I'm just going to put 1 PG down. If I die, I die. Try my best. It's kind of the same thing. Just let him have the 10.
And then they ride. And then you can ride Dragonic Descendant on top of this and get all of the abilities.
Oh, yeah.
And then because the Vowing reverses in your soul, it now turns on the second ability, which is probably why they reprinted Dragonic Descendant in this set.
Dude, ew. Oh, God, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, because Descendant just gets all of its abilities, so riding Descendant on top of Vowing Reverse, it just gets everything. And then it can actually, like, bind your shit twice. Because you have Descendant's own bind skill, which then triggers the power gain, and then it has the Vowing Reverse bind skill, which just takes 3 more cards. And now if you PG it, it restands itself on top of, like, restanding your whole board.
That's gross.
Yeah. Descendant is like $1 million right now, but...
Only thing I heard was Stunverse.
Yeah.
That too.
Oh, yeah. And then in V, Stunverse just, like, gives you shit zillion power.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not ready for this.
Premium Narukami is pretty sick.
Oh, yeah. Premium Narukami is great. And then,
If you're into that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Stunverse is like $30.
Oh, God. That's
the only thing that's ever kept me from... Okay, no, the thing that kept me from playing Premium Narukami was Vanquisher being $30 since its release, and has never gone down.
Well, now you have this, and then also Stunverse. So
Yeah, but now Stunverse is also $30.
Yeah.
But for now, we have Eradicator Sweep Command Dragon. So when placed on Van or Rear, Soul Blast 1, your opponent binds a front row rear, and then moves a back row to an open front row. When your opponent's rear guard is bound, choose one of your opponent's front rear guards, bind it. If your damage zone has 4 or more cards, you can Counterblast, Soul Blast, get an Excel gift, and then call an Eradicator from drop. This is fine, but we just had like one of the best cards in the set hit right before this.
Aww.
When this card was first revealed, a Narukami player I know bought out all the starter that let you ride when you killed a unit. Like that let you ride sweep command specifically or whatever.
Yeah.
So you can sweep command on opponent's turn.
How'd that work out for him?
I don't know.
Oh.
I didn't ask.
Yeah. See, I went and bought all of the original Vowing Swords, which were $2, and I don't think have gone up because most people have decided that playing it with Descendant is better, but, you know, I think it's worth just having at least a couple copies of Vowing Sword in case.
Yeah, but if I ever had to ride Vowing Sword, I'd be very sad.
Yeah. And then we have the funniest card in this set, Armor Dragon.
This is hilarious.
So, Act Counterblast 3, bind all of your opponent's front row. It gets power plus 10k and crit plus 2 for each open front row. And then on attack, if your damage has 4 or more cards, it gets another 10k and your opponent cannot call Sentinels. So, I was thinking about just using all of the old damage enablers from, like, way back in Boomer Vanguard. This is, like, the worst idea ever, but just playing this in Premium, playing all of the, like, damage enablers, and then just Counterblast 3, punch your opponent in the face before they can G-Guard, and hope that wins.
42k, 5 crit, no Sentinels, good luck.
Yeah.
Great, too.
So, basically just playing Numeron, but in Vanguard. And then, if they somehow survive or manage to guard it, then you just scoop up all of your cards and shake your opponent's hand.
Thanks for playing with me.
Well, I messed up.
But I didn't even stride yet. Just, I know what's going to happen. I'm going to get a
The game is decided.
Yeah, like, I have 0 Counterblast on a card that doesn't do anything.
Alright.
Yeah, and then the reprints were Descendant, some Eradicator, which I don't know if this is the most relevant card ever, but the Descendant reprint is nice.
Alrighty. So,
you excited?
this is going to be a roller coaster. So the first one is the Bagel Robot, Daisha Reverse. So at the end of battle, that your grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Dimensional Robo in its card name attack. This is an ability in the hand, by the way. If all of your units that attack this turn had Dimensional Robo in their card names, Counterblast 1, ride this card as stand until end of turn. It gets drive -1, and you cannot ride by card effects.
Unfortunate.
Yeah. Then you can lock to it. Then in Act, you can lock 2 Dimensional Robos, choose one of your opponent's Vanguard, and it gets power -10,000 until end of turn. I don't understand why you would play this over any of the other rerides that Dimension Police has.
Yeah, because I mean, and like the way they've restricted it, does it even like matter for the other rerides? Because like Great Dayusha, you already can't use if you rode that turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then what was the Black? Is that one reride?
Yeah.
Yes, he rerides.
Okay, yeah. So that one could like work. Okay.
So I guess you have to go that into something into a Dimensional Robo
yeah.
But what? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
This card's really weird. I really wish they would have made 3 cards in Dimension Police that would have like worked together in any way, shape, or form. Alas.
Yeah, and then it also has just the act ability to -10 because the original one did that.
That's true. Although I think the original one needed a counterblast.
Yes, it did.
Yeah. Dimensional Robo counterblast, to be specific.
Yeah, because that was the time in the game where a special everything.
Oh, no, it was a regular counterblast. It was only a lock D Robos. Never mind.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. This card is... I don't know. Does this do anything different than Dimension Police was already doing?
No.
I guess you could restand twice.
I mean, Gauntlet Buster are already gonna just kill you. So
well, true. All right, I'm gonna get a little upset about this card.
I just want to preface this as saying I have it saved in the little file as Enigman Y.
Yeah.
All right, so this card has 2 abilities. So its first ability is continuous. During your turn, it gets power plus 5,000 for each card with Enigman in your soul. And then on Vanguard Circle, to be your attack step, if its power is 20,000 or greater, it gets a crit. 35,000 or greater, it gets drive plus 1. 50,000 or greater, you can discard 2 at the end of battle.
You mind if I just share my screen really quickly?
Sure.
Just for like a joke.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah, that's fine. Go.
Okay, give me a second.
Okay. Sorry. Finish the skill while you're doing that.
Yeah, but
you can.
No, this is a point to go along with the first skill. So this is the V Premium section for Enigmans. You might notice something.
It hasn't. Oh, there it is. Oh. Let's see. So, the question is, how many Enigmans are in V era?
It seems to be 1.
Really?
This card.
I guess he's gonna be riding himself to get more power.
5K. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to stop sharing now. Oh, Atlas disappeared.
No, sorry. Like the screen share disappeared when right before I hit remove, so it moved me into place.
It's
my bad.
It is. I don't understand. I just don't get it. Like, what is the point?
Who is that for?
I kind of felt like they just was like, you know what? They play premium anyway. So here you go.
I guess. What happens if it hits 50K before it starts attacking?
Oh, it restands and its drive goes to 0.
Oh. Who cares?
Wow.
I
And you have
know.
to discard 2.
Yep.
It's not even a good payoff for getting to 50K.
I had to double check that you didn't need to discard 2 Enigmans.
This card is just absolutely amazing.
All right. So to fit with the theme of Dimension Police, whatever that is, the last card is Metalborg Mist Ghost. Because why not? So when placed on van or rear, you can look at top 5, choose up to 1 Metalborg, and add it to your hand. And if you put a card in your hand, you choose a card and discard it. And then on rear, when your Vanguard, grade 3 Vanguard is placed, you can Soul Blast 1, and that unit gets all of your Vanguards get power plus 5,000 until end of turn.
Seems fine. Metal board support?
Sure.
Also, just a reminder that Sin Buster is a card that has a glory skill where it stops you from calling grade 1 or greater in a format where PGs are draw triggers.
That's true.
Facts.
Like every other guard restrict was changed to a sentinel restrict, and then this one was just like, now let's give it the exact same skill it originally had.
I feel like when they make cards, sometimes they just sit around and it's like, I'm gonna do this. No, let's be funny. Make it exactly the same. I was like, let's see how many people we tick off.
I feel like that's too smart for them. I really think they just copy pasted it and then just
When these were being revealed, we saw Mist Ghost really early.
Yeah.
Which was really confusing because we knew that Reverse Ayusha was in the set. That was a cover card.
Yeah.
And then they showed Enigman and we're like,
what?
Which is also how I felt about the Nova Grappler reveals, but that's for next week.
The funniest thing is that some clans have this hyper focused, it's either support for a new thing, it's 3 new cards that all go with each other, or just fuck it, 3 random things.
I'm not talking about Gold Paladin right now.
Yeah, but and also Narukami was that too, where it's like, well, if we just print 3 different boss units?
All right, let me talk about a less upsetting card. Juggernaut Maximum.
He's back.
Oh,
yeah. So
this name
upgraded from G Guard to grade 3
unit.
So and it has an auto on Van at the beginning of your each main phase. If your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, this unit gets a continuous skill. All of your units placed this turn get power plus 5,000, shield plus 5,000. So then it has another auto at the end of the battle that it attacked. If you have 4 more rear guards were placed this turn, Soul Blast 3, choose a column and stand all of your units in that column. If you
Cool.
if you stand this unit gets drive -1, and at the end of turn, put all of your rear guards in the bottom of your deck in any order. There is
Cool.
some confusion with this card because I've seen 2 different translations of it.
Oh,
One says if 4 units were placed this turn, and one says if 4 of your rear guards were placed this turn. So the question is, do you need to control 4 rear guards that were placed this turn or not? There is some confusion there.
I assume it's going to be that if 4 things were placed. This is Spike.
Yeah, that makes the most sense.
That's what I would expect, but we're just kind of waiting for the English translation on it because what are you going to do?
I mean, we never know with Bushiroad. They made an archetype card that has no archetype.
But on the assumption that it is when if 4 units were placed, like just counting the number, basically, this card is quite good. It gives Spike Brothers some pretty nice plays off this guy. Just getting a restander in Spike Brothers is pretty rare. So
yeah, well, because their way of like multi-attacking was vacates the space, new thing comes in. Now it's like standing something.
Yeah. So, and Spike Brothers has some pretty advanced grade 3 synergies.
Oh yeah, well, because you have a thing that just copies whatever you have on board. The possibilities are nearly endless.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. So, obviously the first skill is not going to apply here, but the second skill is the one that we are most interested in.
What would you combine this with Rising Nova, you think?
You could do the guy that restands something. What's his name? Cyclone. There's just a few options there.
Okay. What about the next guy?
All right. So the next one I believe is Skydiver. Another classic. So when placed on banner rear, you can choose up 2 normal units from a drop, put them at the bottom of your deck, and it gets power plus 5,000. So it recycles a couple units. And it gets the power no matter what, which is nice. And then at the beginning of your main phase, you can put it into your soul, search for a Skydiver, and call it to rear.
Oh, okay. It's Bracky. It's grade 3.
Yeah, it's like a grade 3 Bracky variant.
Right on. I like how that there's just yellow arrows in the background. It looks like they were trying to draw wind, but they just needed a placeholder to like arrow. Draw wind later, and they're like, oh fuck. That went to print already?
I think this card's okay.
Yeah, it seems fine.
Pretty good.
I had a few Spike players say like it's cute, but we're not playing it.
Yeah, the grade 2s and Spikes, at least in V, are pretty nuts at this point. Because the back row attacker is quite good. Agile fullback.
Yeah.
Agile fullback.
Yeah.
So, and of course, Bracky.
The promo.
Oh yeah, Fiona, I believe her name is. Yeah.
What I was actually playing against somebody and they got me good because I was attacked with Pigeon and he was like, "Oh, her skill," and I was like, "What'd that do?" And he was like, "Oh, you can't activate your skill for the rest of the turn."
Oh, yeah.
No!
You're just stuck with the pigeon. You're like, oh,
Sit back, dragon.
So Spike's grade 2s, really good.
Oh yeah.
yeah. And then now you this guy got swole from high school. This guy started working out.
Oh yeah. I really like this card for some reason. I don't really know why. I just think it looks
Reckless
cool.
Express.
Yeah, no, I think it looks cool. All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, Reckless Express. So when it's on Van, it can be paid with Soul Blast 1. So when it's placed on Van or rear, you can counterblast 1, look at top 7, choose up to 1 normal unit, and call it to rear at rest. And then an auto on rear at the beginning for man phase, put in your soul, call it Reckless.
Okay.
I don't know if you have space for this card and anything, but
Is it that same it's cute but we're not playing it type of thing? Yeah. All right.
But the Juggernaut Max is the real star of the show.
He is the Max. All right. So now we're at Pale Moon.
Yes.
All right. You ready for this, Kianna?
Yeah, I got her pulled up.
All right.
I just had to do my clan right. It
Go.
is Sword Magician Sarah. Sword Magician Sarah has 2 skills. Her first skill is an axe skill. Once per turn, you can counterblast 1, search your deck up to 1 grade 3. I do not know why. Call it to your rear circle and shuffle your deck. Until the end of the turn, this unit gets continuous V circle. All of your grade 3 rear guards get boost and not the 2K. Her second skill, auto on V. At the end of the battle, you drive tech and reveal the grade 3. Put 2 normal units from your rear circles onto the bottom of the deck in any order and choose up to 2 grade 3s from your soul and call them. I didn't think they could actually make something worse than End of Stage. And I love End of Stage. But when they revealed this, literally, I flipped my phone and went back to bed. I was so mad. I was like, she's Bastion. I don't know why they gave me Bastion in a skirt. They gave me Bastion in a skirt, and they were proud of it. They was
Yeah.
But revealed this on Tuesday. This is big news, and I was like, I'm hyped. I was watching Chris, and I was ready, and I revealed this. I'm going back to bed. I got work.
I was like, is this better than Beast Tamer? I'm not sure.
No, it's like, okay, I'm not mad. I'm disappointed. You know what I mean?
Same.
Yeah, I tried to make Sarah work like way back in Boomer Vanguard days, which ironically would work better now if it was just the skill as is, which was when you get a grade 3, swap something in and out. That would have been fine. But for some reason, the fact that you have to put things that you would want to call in and out of soul back in deck for some reason hurts the... Just, I don't know. There are so many things I'm not a fan of, and I kind of just want to take the L and move on.
So I get what they were trying to do, make something unique and different for Pale Moon, but like, come on, bro, stop playing with me. Like, give me something to work with, and it was just, I kind of feel like she should have did something new than trying to go back. Sometimes you don't need to go back to the old skills. Sometimes it's okay. You can give me something new, but I can't do it anymore. Anybody else got something to say about her?
I just want to move on to the grade 2 because I love the grade 2.
Yeah. 1 second.
Pop out Chimera or something like that.
Yes, it's Pop Out Chimera. Pop Out Chimera. He has 2 skills. His first skill is continuous in rear circle, deck, soul, and trigger. This unit gets +1 grade. And when this unit is placed on V, counterblast 1, soul charge 3, and if you charge 1 or more trigger units, you may draw a card. Continuous on rear, if you call 2 or more from your soul, this unit gets 10k power. I love this card.
Me too. It's so great.
It is the generic card that we needed for Harry and also for bunnies. Bunnies have the lack of getting bunnies early into the soul, and this card does exactly what it needs to do. Not only that, it get inherent power by himself, which we did not have a generic card to give generic power to itself. So it does everything we needed to do. Also, this card can be played with Nightmare Dolls because if you push it into the soul, it can trigger Carol. It's just a lot of good things going for this card because Carol just activates when a grade 3 goes in soul. She don't care who it is as long as it's a grade 3. But I love this card. Now, I'm excited, but now, do anybody else have something to say about it before I move to the next disappointment?
Nope.
I think you covered it.
Oh my god. Oh my goodness. Sorry. Do anybody have it pulled?
I have it pulled up.
Oh, because I keep missing it because it's glitching.
It's something assistant.
Engaging assistant, I believe.
Engaging assistant.
So when this unit is placed on banner rear from hand, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 grade 3 from among them, put it into your soul, and shuffle your deck. And then an act on rear, you can retire this unit, choose up to grade 3 from your soul, put it in your hand, and if your Vanguard is not Sword Magician Sarah, you have to discard a card.
Thank you for the -2.
Why?
It's
Every time-
really, I had an argument with a Pale Moon. We both are Pale Moon players, and we always play against each other to learn new things. And he was like, "This is an amazing card." I was like, "Are you high?" And he was like, "Stop! You have to be thankful what they give you." I was like,
No, we don't.
'Cause you're-
No, we don't. No,
I
you
was
can.
like, no. I was like, it's terrible. I was like, literally, only thing, getting a grade 3 isn't bad, but it being locked to Sarah makes it worse.
Mhm.
So I said, literally, it's a -2, and he was like, no, it's a -1. I said, I gotta
That doesn't
give him
make it
a
better.
for it. It's a -2. It pops itself and it discards for 1 card. I get 1 card back.
Every time I read a Pale Moon card and I see placed from hand, I'm just like,
Yep. Just like you missed me with that. Yeah.
Okay, so we have to do that sometimes because Marissa will be out of control.
No, I agree. It's just like,
But I get what you're saying. The ones that are bad, it doesn't need that skill. But the ones that are like way too good, it needs that skill because Marissa needed that skill, or Nightmare Dolls would be way worse than what they are now.
Or like a static baton twirler. That would be pretty nuts if every time you could put something in soul, put something
Yes.
in soul. Yeah. So yeah.
Alright. Next up, we have Duo Temptation Riot. So, has an act once per turn, bind a rear guard, draw a card. Whatever. And then, at the end of the battle that this unit attacks, counterblast 1, discard from your hand. Stand this unit, gets drive -1 until end of turn. Choose up to 1 card from your bind zone with the same card name as the card discarded from cost, and call it to rearguard circle. If your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, you also get it an imaginary gift force and put it on Vanguard circle. This card does a lot. So the thing with duos is that their gimmick is that they also bind things like Prism, but then they want you to have like the same card. So for this one, like if you discard a card that's the same as the card in your bind zone, then you get to call it, and it makes 5 attacks. So it's like on par with Vert, although unlike Vert, I think this does not plus you 1,000,000. Although the thing with the duo cards is that you can actually play them with all of the Prism support because none of them need a Prism Vanguard, and so you can just use them to like get your bind zone pumped up, and then Rate should be able to like work with things in the bind zone, and then we'll talk about the other two because I think you need like all 3 to get the full picture of the deck. So the grade 2 was Duo Mini Heart Roan.
Something to say about the 3.
Oh, sure.
The grade 3, I'm sorry about doing that so late, but the grade 3 is really good for premium because of the fact is her being able to bind to draw is really good for a early setup. I do have a very boomer, I shouldn't say boomer for her, but she's been playing from the beginning, and that is her avatar. When she saw her, she was like, she didn't care if she was bad or not. She just wanted her. And when it came back, she was like, she showed me this whole combo, and it's so scary to the point I was like, I'm tired of Bermuda.
Also, like with Heltrado, this is just restands twice.
Yeah.
So yeah, I haven't figured out like the bind combos for this yet, but it is cool that you can use it with all of the old Prism cards. But anyways, the grade 2 Roan. So when it attacks, gets 3k power for each card in bind zone, and then if you have a Vanguard duo, act Vanguard Rearguard once per turn. If you have a Vanguard with duo, counterblast 1. Choose a card from your bind zone, search a card with the same name as it. So this helps you to set up Rate's restand ability, or the extra call, where, you know, Roan copies something in the bind zone so that you can discard it for Ray and then call it out. So, you know, it's a good card, and then it does not work with Prism, so you can't use it to just, like, plus even harder in that deck.
Dang, that was probably on purpose.
Yeah, definitely. And then the grade 1 is Duo Pretty Horn Earl. So it's grade 1. When it's placed on Vanguard Circle, bind a normal unit. And then when it's placed on Rearguard Circle from hand, choose a normal unit from drop, put it on bottom of the deck. If you put a card with the same name as a card in your bind zone, you can Soul Blast and draw a card.
When you say bind a normal unit, do you mean from hand, from field, what?
But it says choose one from drop and bind it. And put it on the bottom of the deck. And then if it's the same as a card in your bind zone, then you draw a card.
No, I mean the first one, like when you ride him.
Oh. Search your deck for a normal unit and bind it.
There you go. All right, cool.
So yeah,
kind of messed
I
up
really
that
like
round is an act.
Yeah, kind of.
Anything to add, or?
I kind of feel like they're kind of pushing prisms, and because the grade 1 seem more generic towards both Duo and Prism, because her being able to bind from deck is just setting up early. But at least they made it a V skill, so it's you can't spam it. Because
although with the way prisms are, like you now have 3 good ride targets early on.
Yes, they do.
We're entering year 3. We're gonna enter year 3 of Prism and V.
Yeah, and now even if they bind Vert, like rate is good enough that Bermuda is probably still playable.
I really like when they keep printing good Bermuda cards that like replace anything that you might ban in that deck, just so that the deck is just around forever. Like I think they really revealed another PR that's like decent, and I'm just like, oh god.
Yes,
you can never kill it for long.
Yeah, and they're also reprinting Nectaria in that set.
Sure. I'm so tired.
All right. Well, we're in the home stretch here. So for Aquaforce, the Ripples have returned. Thundering Ripple Genovius, which I feel bad doing this a couple days after it got revealed because I'm pretty sure Commander Jaime could cover it better than we ever could. But Act on Van. Once per turn, Soul Blast, look at 5 cards from the top of your deck, call something. That's it. No strings attached. And then Auto on Van, when it attacks, if you have no standing front row units, counterblast 1. Choose one of your rear guards and stand it. If you have 4 or more cards in damage zone, stand all of your rear guards. If you have a Pavroth, which is the grade 2 in your soul, all of your stood units get plus 5k. Until
This card is really good.
It is good.
I thought for a second that it was gonna, like when I was first reading this card, that it was gonna need the grade 2 in soul to stand all your rear guards. And then I was gonna be like, and then it didn't. I was like, okay.
Grade 2
At
in soul
least you can damage deny it, I guess. But yeah, this is like really strong. It pluses on. No, it's an act ability, so it just pluses you.
Every turn.
Yeah, and then a very cheap restand that's just counterblast 1, like nothing else. The original one I think had the Persona Blast, and it was counterblast 2.
I believe so.
This card's gonna be a fun time in premium, right?
Now, Odysseus?
That card is $45 now.
Being serious, right?
Yeah, so Odysseus came to my attention by a friend because he heard a rumor, and you know how rumors goes. So people were buying it out before people knew about it. So Odysseus was gone, like it was 4 listings, and as soon as they announced it, like as soon as the picture popped up, Odysseus was gone.
Yeah, it's now back down to a more reasonable, in quotes, price of $14 for a rare.
But somebody said that they might hit Odysseus just because of a lot of Aquaforce players said it is a little bit too much.
Probably, yeah.
Well, yeah, just by virtue of like, if anyone remembers everything Gold Paladin's done, the ability to spam rewrites is never good.
Oh yeah, it just has to be same grade. I was still thinking about Odysseus in the context of grade stall rush decks, but like that you can use it for more than that, can't you?
Yeah, you can.
You sure can.
So yeah, Oh, and because Genovius is a soft once per turn, what you can do is you can ride it, use the act ability to call something, re-ride using Odysseus, and then use the act ability again.
Yeah, and then Soul Blasting out that same Genovius. If there's a way to put Genovius back in deck, you basically have a never-ending engine.
Yep.
So.
Oh, and
Fantastic.
Odysseus is also a soft once per turn, so if you really wanted to, and you had multiple copies, you could just keep doing this and have a million Excel circles.
You would draw so many cards. That's ridiculous.
I mean, they already draw, so it's Aquaforce.
Yeah. And,
draw
you know,
Force. Yeah.
like, this card just straight pluses you.
Mhm.
I mean, hey, if they don't hit it, then let's have fun. I mean, I can't be mad at it because Aquaforce haven't really been doing anything, so I can deal with it for a little while.
I think now they're day in the sun.
Yeah.
Their day in the ocean. All right, so the next one is Rising Ripple, Pavroth. So the grade 2, when it attacks on Vanna Rear, Soul Blast 1, look at top 7, grab a Genovius from there, put it into your hand, and then if it's on rear guard, you put it into your soul at the end of the battle. And then when it's stood by your card's ability, it gets plus 5k, and that's once per turn, thank God. So, yeah, pretty much did what the original one did, grabbing a copy of the thing you're trying to find.
The original one could, like, stand a unit on hit on Vanguard.
That's true. This one's all rear guard, but
yeah.
I don't know. I think like a lot of Aquaforce builds, they have just ways of searching their grade 3 more than your average deck. Like, yeah, they have the top 5 grade 3 searcher, but like Blue Wave has the grade 1 that checks top 3 looking for blue waves. You have this for ripples. You have everything Maelstrom ever did.
So this one at least was a ride chain originally, so it being able to search the next card in the chain makes sense. They're going for that nostalgia flavor.
Mm-hmm. All right,
and then everything else is just like, sure, why not?
Okay, well, the last one is Silent Ripple, Soterio, grade 1. When placed on Van, check top 7, grab either the grade 2 or the grade 3. And then when stood by your card's ability, plus 5k. Yeah, so nothing too fancy there. Just
And the most important Aquaforce card in this set is Pursuit Assault.
Yes, they reprinted Pursuit Assault. I was going to smack a bitch if they didn't do that.
I really would like Bushiroad to stop making these promos and then like throwing them out somewhere and then like them being unobtainable for
a while. Yeah.
I'm sorry. They actually reprinted 2 important cards. It was Pursuit for Assault and Narissa. Narissa was very important.
Yeah,
true. Yeah, like people like thought this is like really, really strong in V, but like if you can't find Nurse Pursuit Assault and Narissa, like she said, like you're just like
it's strong in premium too. Like they're both really.
And you could probably just shove it into ripples because you did just like restand your board because you felt like it,
and you're spamming Excel circles anyway. Get huge, yeah.
Yeah, they reprinted the apes.
All right. Well, we're on the last line of the set here.
Oh yeah. Oh right, this card exists. Evil Armor Sovereign Giraffa Reverse.
Why did that reverse? Fuck. Okay.
This is quite possibly the funniest reverse unit in the set.
Yeah,
just look at it.
Right? Like, and of all the things they reversed, it was Giraffa.
It should have been what's her name? The Spider Queen.
I guess they were going for like things that existed in the era, but like,
what if it was like reverse Ghidorah, but she was like good?
Yeah, like literally, if it was reverse Ghidorah, it would have sold them. Like literally, people would have lost their mind.
But that's true.
That's true.
All right, so when it attacks a Vanguard, you can counter plus 1. Your opponent chooses 1 or more cards from their hand and calls it to rear guard circle at rest, and they do not activate any auto abilities. If the number of cards called is less than the number of grade 3 cards with Giraffa in their card names in your soul, you can lock a rear guard and stand this unit. So then during your turn, when your opponent's rear guard is placed, you can lock a rear guard and all of your front row units get power plus 15,000 until end of turn. Alright, so I guess you can like...
Magic Colony got a restander, dude. That's all that matters.
That's true.
It restands if you have a Giraffa in your soul.
Is this a grade 3 Giraffa? Or...
Oh yeah, if it's a grade 3 Giraffa, because that's right, because Giraffa's a ride line. Or a ride chain, I mean. God, that's terminologies.
Yeah.
And your opponent has to, like, call less than the number of Giraffas in your soul.
So you need 2 in your soul in order for your opponent to actually be forced to call multiple cards?
Yeah.
So,
and this doesn't stun anything.
So, people have been buying out the old Giraffa, and a lot of people have been buying out the I think it's called a mutant Giraffa. When you discard it, if you're already sitting on the grade 1, you can ride it from your deck. That one is starting to see disappear. It's like people are trying to make this work for some strange reason, but I guess because it has had opportunity in the sun and it has topped, so people feel like it's viable. So people went crazy for it. So.
Magic Colony is the clan where they have people saying this phrase: "It's actually really good." Like that. There's always somebody like that.
My favorite comment is like, I was like, well, yeah, they should just like ban Gridor, and like that kills the clan, and I'm like, good.
I wish they had made the reverse unit Cyclomatooth, just because that was the break ride that was introduced with Glendios, and it would have been way funnier.
Definitely.
When Cyclomatooth was like spoiled, like the old Cyclomatooth, people were like, this card's so broken. I would like to keep in mind that Mega Colony had not had support since like BT2, and this was like BT15.
Yeah.
And they were like, it's so broken, and you're like...
I do love the original Cyclomatooth, right? Like, just rest your opponent's board, they can't stand.
They can't stand your Vanguard. That's insane! But it was Break Ride era, so it didn't matter.
Yeah.
Alright, thanks for stunning my...
Alright, right up.
Yeah, right up. Thanks, guy.
And then, like, V Cyclomatooth was when they still had no idea what Mega Colony was doing, so that was when they randomly build cards.
I forgot about that.
Alright, so Mega Colony Battler S. When this unit is placed on rear, soul blast 1, your opponent chooses a card from their hand, calls it rear guard at rest. They draw a card, and that called unit cannot stand during their next stand phase. Your opponent's card's auto abilities do not activate from this call. And then an act and drop, if your opponent has no stand units, you can discard a card from your hand, call the card to an open rear, and soul charge 1.
So it lets your opponent +1, but it's also a net 0, or no, it's a -1 because you just have to discard.
Well, it's only a drop that you discard, right? So it kind of like change out a card in your hand for this.
Okay, so this card is a net 0, but your opponent gets the +1 off its call skill.
Hey, it looks like that card has a whip. I wonder if that's gonna come into play in a moment.
Please be quiet. I will not stand for this.
Literally, did y'all see that on Twitter? The whole BDSM.
Yes,
they spell it out, and I was like, I just couldn't help myself. I would just start laughing. I thought it was the funniest thing ever. I was like, y'all are so, and you guys did it with the bug clan. Why the bug clan?
How do you not see this? This is Magic Colony Battler M, and it's got hard. That's
what this is just having a good time.
Oh my god! They knew what they were doing. That's all I'm gonna say.
They did. They did.
All right. So Mega Colony Battler M, when it's put on guard circle, it gets shield plus 5,000 for every 2 of your opponent's rest cards. When this unit is retired from guard circle, if your opponent has no standing units, you can call this card to an open rear guard circle and soul charge 1.
That's pretty neat.
That's actually what they needed.
Pretty nice.
Yeah.
This art is weird.
Yeah.
And he's a masochist.
Oh yeah. Look at that contrast. Okay, I'll stop.
Oh, I okay. So he's getting like hit or something.
Yes, and he likes it. So that's why
I
he has
see.
the heart eyes, because he's a masochist. And the other one is a sadist, so she's like beating people. Why do I know so much about this? But that's why I was laughing. But yeah, the other one is a B, and the other one is what's the name? But they made these two obvious, but the other two aren't obvious.
Yeah.
Don't ask me why I know this. But anyway, let's move on.
It's hilarious. I mean, that's all of it.
Yeah.
So that's Clan Selection Volume 5. We will do 6 next week. First, who won, who lost?
I mean, Narukami definitely came away with a lot with Vowing Saber Reverse. That's a very strong card.
Probably the best singular card in the set, I think.
Probably.
Aquaforce won.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Aquaforce.
Overall,
Whole deck.
yeah.
Like that's ripples are insane. I actually like really want to play them.
Mhm. Yeah, I'll agree with Aquaforce. In terms of who
Huh?
lost,
Kagero lost.
Oh,
Oh yeah, Kagero for sure.
Dimension Police also not faring well.
Mm.
They okay, they didn't lose. Pale Moon lost.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
well, we at least got Pop Out Chimera. That's something.
No,
that-
okay. 1 out of 2 is not winning.
Yeah, but
Oh no, that's not
Kagero's-
losing. There's a difference between not losing.
That's
and
true.
winning.
That's true.
Yeah.
But
Kagero's like 0 for 3.
Yeah.
yeah,
Police is like you maybe play Dayusha Reverse, maybe, and then they just like printed an archetype card for an archetype that doesn't exist.
Mhm.
I don't know. I feel like Enigman actively subtracts
okay.
more points from it.
so okay. With Enigma, at least he can be played in premium. At least
True, I guess.
Sarah can't be played
legal card.
nowhere. She is Bastion love child, literally. With no, I have to play so many grade 3s just to make her work, and I have no DP skill to give them shields.
Yeah. So just don't
Yeah.
Fair.
take a walk, touch some grass, do anything else.
I just want to say that Die Liner is kind of a messed up card, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's so perfect. It's hard to outdo it. Yeah. Well, we hope you enjoyed Clan Selection Volume 5. Thank you so much for coming on the show, SheDevilGaming.
Thank you so much for having me.
Where can people find and follow you?
Well, you all can find me and also Savannah on SheDevilGaming, which is on YouTube, spelled clearly out, and also on Twitter. I post market watches twice a week, and we do random uploads on Wednesdays, and we also do fight videos. We're going to start doing fight videos more often because I do want to show off my locals. Twitter is always being uploaded with different buyouts and cars are spiking, cars are dropping, and things that you should be looking at. But that's about it. But just if you really want to be in my midst, you can always find me by writing SheDevilGaming, and I will pop up.
There will be links in the description / show notes too, so they can find you. You can follow us at Nexus at Night on Twitter or Instagram. We did a Patreon, patreon.com/Nexus at Night. Thank you to Darren, Cole, Josh, Jeremy, and Mewwill for being $10 patrons. Merch, playmats, all that's in the show notes and description. Leave a like, leave a comment. How about the rest of us?
You can find me on Twitter at Wiggums, 2Gs, 2Zs.
You can find me at Plasma Eclipse.
And then you can find me at Atlas Novak, Twitter, Instagram, or you can follow my other show, Generation Dan, on Twitter, or Generation_Dan on Instagram. Thanks, everybody, for watching / listening. We will see you next week for the other half of this. Bye, everyone.
Bye.